Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hive Pokemon Glazed. We are back again. This is episode 4. I'm getting ahead of myself. Episode 4. Uh, to my left, we have Ace and Spooks.
Wagwan.
Return of the Mac.
Once again.
Return of the Mac.
Oh my God.
Return of the Mac.
Here he is.
And you'd never believe who it is to my right.
Yeah, I've arisen, everybody. I'm back. I've returned from a long slumber.
Just got back from a long hiatus. But he is back. So yeah, Mac is back. Welcome back, Mac. How you feeling?
Yeah, brilliant, mate. Absolutely class.
Back is back. He's back.
It's a lot of acts in the end there, but we're back again for episode 4, and we're off to a great start. But yeah, episode 4. I can't believe we're saying that already. Gym 7 and 8 in today's video. And yeah, Pokemon Glazed has been an absolute blast so far. I'm sure that you boys will agree with me. We're all quite enjoying this one. We've been speaking about it a little bit in the group chat. But yeah, we'll get straight into things. We'll start with our spin wheels as always. So I'll go with mine first. So this week, I have got a return of an old favourite, Disguise, for my 7 and 8 gyms. So no damaging first moves for me this episode. Ace, what did you get for your spin wheel this week?
So I'm pretty sure I got Shadow Tag, I think. But basically it was I could not run away from wild battles. So yeah, really easy. I mean, I don't know if it's a bit of a loophole or not, but I always have repels on anyway. So it literally doesn't matter to me, Ram, you know what I mean? I'm always stocked up on those repels. Because usually I set my team out before I even play the game. I've got a few team changes today, actually, but we'll get into that soon. But Spooks, what did you get, cuz?
I got Aura Break, so I can't use Fairy or Dark type moves. So for me, that was only 3 moves out of my whole team. So obviously, Draining Kiss could not kiss anyone this episode, unfortunately. And it was Nasty Plot and Crunch. So that's all I had on my team. Mac, what about you? What was your spin again?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, I was on Runaway, which sounds like a dupe of what Ace had, also meaning... No, basically, was it the opposite of what Ace had?
I think you couldn't run away from wild battles or something like that.
Yeah, I couldn't run away from them. No, I had to run away unless I was catching them.
Yeah.
I
had to run away, which was sweet because I'll run away from every wild encounter unless I'm catching it anyway.
Yeah.
So
unless it's Mudkip.
Then I just send him to the graveyard.
Yeah. So obviously, the last couple of episodes, Mac hasn't been here, as we've already said, but he's all caught up now. And have you seen all the Mudkips that have been in the game, Mac? Because we did mention that last episode.
I have, mate. Yeah, I've spoken to several of the family that I've begun sort of destroying the bloodline of. But yeah, I've learnt some new moves along the way, thankfully.
Good. That's what I'd like to hear. Well, if we're all happy to get into things, I think I'll start us off from where we left off last episode. So obviously, last episode we beat Gym 6, and from that point, we are basically tasked to go to Palm Tree Resort, and the only way to get to Palm Tree Resort is to use Fly, which we thankfully learned at the end of last episode. So we fly into Palm Tree Resort, which is where Gym 7 is, and as we land at the Fusion Co. headquarters, and Henry, or Thierry, I think we said we were going to call him, didn't we? So yeah. Thierry comes out and is waiting for us, and he tells us the plan that Team Fusion have got, and it's a nasty plan. They are going to summon Dialga, Palkia, and Garatina, and that's their mission. And what he says is that they're going to fire off some electricity at 3 different spots around the map to awaken the trio, and he asks us to head to the spatial ruins to deal with Palkia. So, Ace, why don't you take us through to what happens next?
Yeah, so I'll just briefly say before I get into that, just a little thing of my start to this episode. So I actually played this earlier because in the UK it's a bank holiday Monday right now, so I've been off work. And I opened my party, and lo and behold, there was something stinking from my party. And it was, in fact, a bad egg was sat there absolutely honking up the gaff. And unfortunately, that was my Rotom, who I literally added on last episode, so cheers for that then. But I did actually, instead of him, so I took the egg out, and I put the Don Sceptile into the team, my favourite Pokemon, who I was pleasantly surprised was a grass and dragon type in this ROM hack. Obviously, it's mega in normal Pokemon games, is that anyway. But as well as that, Glazed finally had his time over on Fraud Watch, and he got taken off the team. And I put a Morwile on the team, which is a mon that I haven't really used before, but yeah, turned out to be a very valuable team member as we got into these gyms. But yeah, so let's get into the Spatial Sea and the Spatial Ruins. So you go to the bottom of the Palm Tree Resort, and there's a little beach there called Sunshore Beach. There's not a lot going on here at the moment because the whole place is just riddled with grunts. And so you jump into the sea, and then you go to the left through Spatial Sea, and you end up at the Spatial Ruins. And we have been asked, as Rushy said, by Thierry to come here because we need to stop Michael from catching Palkia. So as we enter, we see lots and lots of grunts, as we have done in all of the fusion areas. To be fair, they seem to have, I know obviously it's part of the game, but we've been seeing more grunts than we would in other ROM hacks, I feel like, and Pokemon games. So it just goes to show that they have got enough of a motivation to get people going. And guess who's waiting for us here, baby? It's that dirty, snivelling yellow rats. And he wants to take us on for the 5th or 6th time. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. We're not clipping a 6-7 clip out of this episode. And he says he's going to, this is it. He needs to beat us. He's dedicated his whole life since he met us to beating us. And guess what we do? Wipe the floor with him as usual. Does actually have some really cool moves. Like, I think it's got extreme speed now, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this turns out it's going to be our final battle against him, as once we beat him, he says he's going to give up trying to beat us. And we are then going to get into it to then try and find and stop Michael. But Spooks, I'll let you take us into after we've beaten that Pikachu, that dirty little rats.
So like you say, we see that Pikachu again, that dirty little rat. Obviously defeat him. Then we see Michael at the ruins, and he's talking to the legendary Pokemon from Sinnoh. He's basically saying there's nothing we can do. There's nothing what we can do but sit back and watch the show, basically. And boom, Garantina, Dialga and Palkia appears, but Palkia says, "What human dare disturbs me?" And Mikey gets his Master Ball, and he ends up capturing it. Then he tells us that it's not the end game. Excuse me, sorry. He tells us that it's not the end game here, and that he tells us all the work he's done over the time that we've obviously been playing the game. He talks about his lab and says there's no need to go there because we've already won. So what do? We get our little phone call from Blake, and he says he couldn't save Garatina, because what you'll see is when we say you can see Garantina and everyone, they do like little cutscenes of when they appear. So you'll get to see like where they all are and stuff. So Blake calls our phone. He says that I couldn't save Garantina. He tells us to go back to the resort. So we basically do that. And I just thought it was funny is just like where Michael said, don't worry about going to the lab because you don't need to do there. But obviously, you know, we're all misfits in this on the Hive, so we are not going to do as we've told, and we're going to go there. So Mac, I think by saying going back to Palm Tree Resort, we actually can go inside the now, the cooperative. So yeah, do you want to take us in that fusion co-op and see what they're selling?
Yeah, I think in here is where I got a shiny stone,
Yeah.
which I gave to my budgie that it was nicknamed to get it to become a Roserade, which is pretty good. So now I've got a fairly strong grass poison type on the team, which has been quite helpful coming through. But I think other than that, I didn't really buy a whole lot. I think I might have got myself some lava cookies. Not nice and cheap to stock up on. But yeah, did anybody else get anything interested in it?
I was just gonna say I didn't really get much there, but I went back to the Sunshore Beach, which is just off of the Palm Tree Resort town. And if you speak to the anglers there, I don't know if any of you guys did this, but there is two of the anglers will battle you. One of them has 6 Magikarps, so that was a nice fun battle. But the other one of the anglers will offer to sell you something that he's caught, and if you buy that from him, he actually gives you a shiny Magikarp.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he's like, haha, this is funny because he sells it to you for $500, so not very much. And he says, haha, I've just sold you a worthless fish. But yeah, the fish is a shiny Magikarp, so I thought that was quite cool.
I think, is that a reference to another game? Isn't
I
that
know it's
in
definitely a
Fire Red?
I know
It
there's
might be.
definitely a reference in the actual anime, because if you can remember James picking up a gold Magikarp, he ends up kicking it when I think, he ends up kicking it in the face. I think when they're on the SS Anne, and basically SS Anne, it starts going like the Titanic, and he kicks it because Magikarp's not doing anything. But what actually happens is it turns into a Gyarados, and it just starts blasting up the place. And funnily enough, there's bare Magikarps around this Gyarados, and it's like, right, we're all going to evolve now. So they're all struggling to get off this boat. But obviously, Meowth, that's right. He found out that there was a plan to get off that boat. But yeah, go back and watch the anime and you'll see what I'm on about. But I think for most of us, I could say, because obviously Fusion Co, they're saying they specialise in making TMs, right?
Yes.
So they specialise, but we can't actually buy anything because I think you have to make an appointment or something like that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
weird.
So-
the receptionist says if you haven't got an appointment, you've got there's a year's wait. There's a
Yeah,
year's wait to get an appointment.
mad. But the
Yeah.
funny thing is that you find so much stuff around the resort, like around the coast. So I mean, you do find one of the deceased members of Mudkip there trying to teach you that rock and slide. So he's trying to do it for his brother. He's trying to slide on Mac. Do you know what I mean? He's trying to slide on Mac, and he's like, look, Mac ain't here, so I'll teach you rock
Slide on Max Big Onyx.
Oh, here we go.
that
Here we go. Here we go. But obviously, once you slide on that big Onyx, you do get that Earth power here as well.
Yeah.
And so you get a lot of stuff here, just going around and about. But I think you'll see later in the episode, it's full of fusion grunts around here, and later in the episode, you start to see the town get back to life. So, I mean, yeah, that's really what I've got for the resort, boys.
I've got one more.
Apart from seeing Henri, but does anyone want to take us into
one more?
Oh,
I've got one more
cuz.
little thing here. This is when, obviously, because obviously once we've been, we are now tasked with defeating Gym 7, which is in this town. And I was just speaking to the boys before, literally as we were jumping into recording, and there is another Mudkip here with a little girl, and this little girl says, "Oh, my dad said I can only play out because if I take my Mudkip, because there's all those scary guys around." So then obviously I spoke to the Mudkip, and he said, "Nobody's gonna hurt my trainer while I'm around. Nobody messes with Mudkip J River Crosser." So that must be one of Mac's fallen brothers, one of those Mac D, that Mudkip J, innit?
Mudkip J, innit? Mudkip Uncle.
Oh,
Mudkip John.
Mudkip John.
Uncle John.
Oh my god. So,
Mudkip John Rivercross.
do you know what? Just to break the fourth wall again, yeah, talking about Uncle John. We was at my son's football presentation yesterday. That's how I done my back in. And there's this guy on his team. He's called Jacob, and my son was shouting, go on, Jacob John. Go on, pass Jacob John. I was crying at it. So,
shout out to Jacob John. It's his birthday today,
yeah,
bro.
shout out Jacob John. May the 4th be with you all.
Happy birthday, Jacob
And
John.
him. I know. So shout out Jacob John. Probably in Manchester eating ramen like he normally is, but who knows, isn't it? Who knows? But yeah, going back to that Mud J Whip or whatever his name is. Did he say anything else, or was he just on crashing out?
No, he was just on smoke and leaving his full government to have everyone remember him buying it. Just me, that J dot whip across her.
Yeah, love that.
Well, on that note, shall we head into Gym 7? Because I think that's probably everything we've got for that area of the map. So, Gym 7, Nicole, rock type, Spooks, do you want to take us away?
Right, I will take us away, and we will get hard with Nicole right now. So she goes in with the Aerodactyl. We go in with Mudlips. It uses an aerial ace on us. We use an Ice Punch. Super effective. It's got leftovers. Starts up the Sandstorm, which actually doesn't buff Swampert because obviously it's part ground. But I think in Emerald and stuff, it did actually buff it in the past. So, which is quite weird. We go out with Bruce Lade. She's going out with the Craggly. We're buffed, obviously. We use Brick Break on the Craggly or get it down to the red. It uses Giga Drain on us. And I think at this point, all the Pokemon have got leftovers. But she goes with the Hyper Potion. We go for another Brick Break again, get that crit, and Craggly is down. Then the Rhyperior comes out. We're going to stay out with Bruce Lade. Now, the Rhyperior, the Sandstorm's still going. We use another Brick Break, and I think Brick Break's just going to take us all through this. Or is it? Because we just got slapped with that Earthquake, and we are down. Back out to Mudlips. Let's see what he's got to do with, see if we wet up that rock. And we do with that Muddy Water. And that is Rhyperior down. Unfortunately, Double Horny is out. Is it the Armadillo? I don't know. Just whatever. Armadillo, I don't know. That gets hit with that Muddy Water, uses leftovers, shooting that shot, speed's going down, Aqua Tail on us. It actually does quite a bit, to be fair, but this has got leftovers as well. So we're going to keep getting that shot down for the speed, uses another Aqua Tail, we're on 37. Yeah, just Muddy Water, shooting, we just shoot that Muddy Water and it takes it down. Don't know why I didn't start out with that. The Shuckle comes out now. We're still with Mudlips, and we're going to go for that Ice Punch. Ice Punch didn't do nothing. Hits us with the Rock Slide. Uses us leftovers. Do you know what I mean? Like I say, I think it's going to be like this. Hit it with a Muddy Water, and Shuckle is down, and Nicole is out. Ace, how did you get on, bro?
Yeah, so actually pretty well. Did struggle with a few gyms sort of in the midsection of the game, but not too much trouble here for me, so we'll get into my footage now. Quick team run through as always. There's the new boy Sceptile, my guy. Pretty decent moveset on there. Scolipede, the absolute GOAT, one of my favourite mons now, is still with us. There's Morwile with that Rock Slide from Mudkip. Empoleon still here, still got cut, bro. And we're still here comes Salamence. So we're finally evolved into Salamence, but Porygon's still Porygon 1. So he ain't on the team for too much longer, baby. Let me tell you that much for free. But let's get into Nicole. I wish I could, by the way. She's quite lame. So let's go. So we're leading out with Sceptile and they're leading out with the Aerodactyl. I'm going to bring up Morwile just to hit that Intimidate. And then hit this quick Sword Stance to get this Morwile up to +2. And then it's just going to be a Rock Slide because we're going to do neutral damage, Rock Flying. Obviously they cancel each other out. And it's super effective actually, but it one-shots it regardless. And here comes Horny, who shouldn't have been on Spooks' team at the end of Emerald Sea Glass. I'm still living by that. But regardless, he's made it over to Glazed. So we're going to come out with Empoleon and just hit that Surf, and yeah, done and dusted. Horny is down. Armaldo is coming out next, in case you wanted to know how to pronounce that, spooks, mate. But we're going to come out with Morwile and hit that Intimidate. This is a huge ability, by the way, especially for a battle like this where they've got a lot of physical attackers. We're putting them on -1 attack as soon as it starts. We're going to go for the Rock Slide, but that accuracy is not going to come through. So I'm going to hit a Swords Dance anyway, as Armaldo goes for Aqua Tail. Sandstorm is up, but of course we are Steel type with Morwile, so it's not touching us. And one Rock Slide is going to take out the Armaldo. Out comes Shuckle. That's just that. I don't know what happened there. That looked kind of weird as he came out. He just had that head poking out. Do you know what I mean? That top. But a couple of Rock Slides is going to take it down. And hopefully I'm going to get some top off Nicole after this battle. But here comes Cradily, and Morwile is still in here holding it down. We're going to go for a Covet and steal the Miracle Seed off the Cradily as it goes for a Rock Slide. Not going to do a lot, and one more Covet is going to take down the Cradily, and that is my battle with Nicole done. So, Rushy, did you have a little bit of fun with Nicole, mate?
I absolutely did not, and I'd like to apologise to the listeners for Shwani's or Ace's weird commentary there. But we'll go in. So I lead with Swampert.
I think Shmoney wants to go in as well.
Yeah, I think he does. But yeah, I'll go in now. So Aerodactyl, they lead with. I lead with Swampert. I go for that Yawn. They go for a Sandstorm on the first move. So the Yawn comes off on Aerodactyl. I go in second for a Muddy Water. They use an Aerial Ace, which does a little bit of damage. And I tell you what, Muddy Water is on Fraud Watch because that move never hits for me. It misses. The Aerodactyl is asleep, luckily. I go for a Muddy Water again, which does hit this time. Obviously, this Aerodactyl does have leftovers. I go for another Muddy Water, which misses again. So the Aerodactyl is still asleep, but they're getting a bit of health back from the leftovers. It wakes up, Aerial Ace. The Muddy Water does come in this time and does take out the Aerodactyl, but that Aerodactyl should have been gone a long time ago. So Cradily is in next. I'm going to bring in the big man Embor. So Embor's out. I go for a Sunny Day here, obviously with my Disguise ability. So Disguise is on. The Rock Slide comes in on the Embor and does a little bit of damage. But then I go for the Brick Break. So Brick Break on the Embor takes the Cradily down in one hit with a crit as well. So that's nice. Nicole is now sending out Rhyperior. So Horny is back again. Rhyperior comes in. I stay in with the Embor here. The Sunny Day is still up. I go for a Brick Break on the Rhyperior, which takes it down to about half health. The Rhyperior uses Earthquake, however, and does take out Embor here. So Embor is down and out. So I come in with Fracture here. Obviously, a new addition to my team, came in last episode. The Intimidate cuts the Rhyperior's attack. The Rhyperior's also got leftovers, so it's getting a little bit of health back. But I go with that Dragon Dance to get my attack and speed up. The Rhyperior uses an Earthquake, which the Fracture does tank quite nicely here. The leftovers give it a bit of health back again. I'll go for a Dragon Claw from the Fracture, which takes down the Rhyperior and hits a crit, which is nice again. So Armaldo is in next. I am going to stay in with my Fracture here. And I'm going to hit that Dragon Dance again. So attack and speed raisin again. The Sandstorm from Armaldo puts the Sandstorm back up and does a little bit of chip damage there to my Fracture, but not too much. Dragon Claw takes Armaldo down to 1 HP. The Rock Slide, however, does hit a crit and take my Fracture out. So I swap into Swampert here. Swampert comes in, the Sandstorm's still going off and the leftovers are popping off left, right and centre, but I go for that Surf, but the Hyper Potion from Nicole takes the Armaldo back up to full HP. The Surf takes it back down to fairly low, but the leftovers give it a little bit more health back, so I go for another Surf, which does finally take Armaldo out. So Nicole is sending in Shuckle as the final Pokemon here, which is a odd Pokemon to have in this team, I feel like, but it is what it is. Go for the Yawn on the Shuckle, and the Shuckle hits a rock slide, which does basically nothing, even though it hits a crit. And then I go for a Muddy Water here, which does take the Shuckle down to basically nothing. The Shuckle goes for a Sandstorm, which pops back up again. Again, the Shuckle's got leftovers too, but it does fall asleep. So the Muddy Water one more time does take Shuckle out, and that is Nicole down and out. Mac, how did you get on?
Yeah, not too bad. I think I was sort of entering a stage of brain rot when I got to this, because as everybody's aware, with my hiatus, I've been playing catch up over the last 18 hours to get ready for this episode. I will just give a quick run through of the team coming into this, because obviously nobody knows what I've got anymore. So RK9 still on the team, which I think he was in the last episode. I've got a Puppetar, which is going to quickly come off the team. Greninja's in. I've got the Roserade. Still got my starter Lucario, who will be exiting the team because he's been on Fraud Watch all series, or throughout the whole game for me, and also a Jolteon. But yeah, going into the battle. They lead with their Aerodactyl, which I hit with a Water Pulse. They hit me with a Rock Slide. One more Water Pulse and Aerodactyl is gone. Rhyperior comes in and I keep Greninja out. Hit another Water Pulse, which takes him down in one hit. The Credilli comes in. I think this is kind of where my battle just loses its way a little bit. Looks like grass, so I hit it with a Fire Fang. Turns out it's not a dual grass type, so it does nothing really. They come out with a Sandstorm, hit it with a Rock Smash, which is super effective but does very little damage on it. They use Recover. I hit it with a Rock Smash. They use Rock Slide, which then one hits my RK9 and he is gone. So then in comes Lucario. I hit it with an Aura Sphere, which is super effective. They hit me with a Giga Drain. One more Aura Sphere. Gets them nearly dead. They use Recover. Aura Sphere. They use Recover. Aura Sphere. They use Recover. I use Aura Sphere. They use Giga Drain because I think they've run out of recovers. One more Aura Sphere and it is finally dead. Then comes in, I prefer Spooks' phrase there, so in comes the Armadillo. I hit that with a Aura Sphere. And just switched in, so I get another tail. I hit them with an Aura Sphere again. They hit me with an Aqua Tail, which leaves me on 7 HP. I squeeze in one more Aura Sphere, gets them pretty weak. They hit me with an Aqua Tail. In comes Roserade, hit it with a Giga Drain, but not before they can get a Hyper Potion off, which gets them back up to full health. I hit them with another Giga Drain. They hit me with a Knock Off, which nearly kills me there. So I hit them with another Giga Drain. They're 1 HP again. They hit me with a Rock Slide. Roserade dies. In comes Puppetar, which I hit them with a Rock Slide, but they use a Hyper Potion again. They hit me with Aqua Tail and I die. So Greninja's coming back in now, hits him with a Water Pulse, leaves him one shot, luckily confuses him as well, but the Rock Slide still gets through. They use another Hyper Potion, so I hit them with a Water Pulse. Then they use another Hyper Potion, so I hit them with another Water Pulse. And luckily this time I outspeed them, they're out of potions. I hit them with another Water Pulse and they faint. Then Shuckle comes in. I use a Hyper Potion on my Greninja. And then use a Water Pulse, which confuses him, does a decent amount of damage. And yeah, I basically just Water Pulse it the rest of the way to get that Shuckle gone. I won't bore everybody with the back and forth of them using Rest because I've already been through that with the Hyper Potions this time. But yeah, that was absolutely horrible, maybe the worst gym battle I've had in this whole game.
What a nice way to come back, mate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
absolutely
Welcome
horrific.
Welcome back.
It seems like Nicole had bought the whole Pokemart before going into
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. They've been to that co-op, isn't it? Trust me, bruv. No, what a
But
way
yeah.
to come back.
Yeah. Well, it is one way to come back, and from that you get the core badge, which is an exciting thing to happen, because that means we can now use dive, and we also get TM39 Rock Tomb. I'd just like to throw that in at the end there.
Yeah, can I just say, sorry, what a crap TM to get after the 7th gym, by
honestly,
the way.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Rock
believe it.
Tomb, bruv. I
I
saw
know.
that. I went,
Couldn't
are
believe
you mad? Are you mad? I
Yeah.
went, Rock Tomb,
Especially
bro.
when they
What?
had
You
rock
get that at
slide
gym
outside
one,
the
innit?
gym.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Innit?
and
what I got.
obviously also because you then go out and speak to Blake, and they tell you that you've got to go infiltrate the Team Fusion lab, and they give you rock climb as well. So
Yeah.
like what is the point of getting the Rock Tomb there? But I don't know, maybe some people are Rock Tomb lovers out there. Who knows?
That was mad. I did like it at the end of the gym though, how you go through that little hole and it darts through like the whole screen and you go underneath to like
Yeah.
get back to the start. I thought that was pretty cool. I guess it had to be something nice if you got Rock Tomb, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, innit? So yeah, stuff
We're all
that
certified Rock Tomb haters over here.
we are. Allow
Certified
that
Rock
tomb,
Tomb
innit?
haters. Yeah.
No tombs.
But yeah, shall I take us through to the next part of the game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So as I said, we go out after the gym battle and we meet Blake again, and he and Thierry have decided that we are going to infiltrate the Team Fusion lab, obviously, and it does give you rock climb. So the Fusion lab, we have been told, is on the top of Mount Stratus, so that is where we head to, and through a new little hole in the wall into the mountain, and inside there you do get TM36 sludge bomb. There is a full restore there as well.
Sound like a good hole to me.
Yeah, it's a great hole. A sludgy hole, as some would say.
You dirty boy!
What do you mean? We just got. I mean, sludge bomb. There's a sludge bomb in the hole.
Rushy, sludgy hole.
Man, like sludge more.
Christ alive! Is this a good time to mention that my fracture evolved into Haxorus?
Yeah, it's great
sludge.
yeah.
Quickly getting off that, but yeah. Anyway, we make our way through Mount Stratus, and using rock climb, which we've just learned. And at the top, we meet Blake and Thierry, and it's quite funny here because obviously Thierry's been on it this whole time. He's been like, "Yeah, we're gonna take down my dad and my mum, and we're gonna beat Team Fusion." And then he just goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna wait here and make sure no one
just
comes
waits
back up the
outside,
mountain."
Yeah, he's not on it. He's not on it.
He's not. He's really not on it. Yeah, he says he's going to wait there and he'll stand guard and heal your Pokemon if he needs to. And whilst us and Blake head down into the Fusion Labs. So, Mac, why don't you take us into Fusion Labs?
Yeah, so when you first come into the Fusion Labs, you're obviously, unsurprisingly, on the first floor. And there is sort of a bunch of scientists around that don't want to chat to you. I think there's maybe one person that fights you just by walking past them. So, as we all know from the Lazarus series, I just have absolutely minus IQ with any game that doesn't tell me exactly what to do. But luckily here, I did use some intuition and decided once I got to the passcode on the door and couldn't figure out what it was, to go to the scientists and speak to them. And the first one I spoke to was actually nearest to the door, and they say to you, I think the clue is for the password. It's like, what's the hardest material on the earth or something like that.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was like,
Me. But that didn't work. Not with that back, mate. I was back in my day, innit?
yeah, 25 years ago.
One of the hardest in the year. Yeah, I typed in
Just
me.
look at my screen and he's going like this.
Yeah, sorry, Mac. Innit?
That's all right, mate. That's all right. Anyway,
Tell him the proper password, innit? That might have just been for our game only. I don't know what.
for some reason, the word spooks didn't cross my mind when I was asked for that, so I went straight for diamond, which let me through the door. I presume there was other scientists in there. I presume if you spoke to them, maybe they'd give you some other hints. Did anybody notice as well that next to where you enter the password, there's just a random picture of a shiny Bulbasaur?
Yeah.
Yeah, weird, isn't it?
Yes, I also noticed earlier on in the game, just tracking back a bit, I can't remember if this was, you boys might have already covered this, sorry if you have, but you go up to like a bird box and there's something, you can etch your name into that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the
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 shiny
shrine.
Bulbasaur was there as well, I thought I was going to get one. But
Yeah. It must be something to do with the coding of the game and just how they've coded
yeah,
that.
I just thought that was really, because when it come up there, I was like, oh, maybe we're going to get this shiny, and then it come up here again. I was like, oh, because I was going to go back to that spot or something, see if it was going to, like an egg in there, was going to hatch or something like that. But yeah, anyway, so you get through the first door, which then you move on to the second floor, and again you've got the scientists around that you need to speak to. But also, if you go all the way over to the far left, way past spooks and down the staircase, you can actually get a master ball in here. Did anybody pick that up?
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Nah, no need, mate. No need, mate.
Yeah, no, I did not need that
too
either.
hard for
But
a master ball, innit? just me with my Pokeballs going like that, and it's constantly don't worry about this, man. 99 rare candies to sell.
Careful your back over there, mate. Careful your back over there, mate.
Oh. That's why I'm going to beat myself now.
But yeah, so you go to there's another password to get through the door here, and you don't actually get it from the scientists this time. There's like 3 podium type things that give you some background information on what the 3 legendaries, is it like a stone or something they hold? I can't remember exactly what it said. Someone can assist. Yeah, stone or something they hold.
It tells you about like how the stones used to empower them, where they're like the region they're from and stuff like that. It just gives you some like information about the 3 legendaries.
And then I believe it's the one that Dialga holds, which is the password.
It's Palkia, this one.
Palkia, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to attempt to say it. If anybody wants to, feel free, because
Grisius.
yeah, that's the one, mate.
Or
Cheers
spatial.
for that.
No, it's the spacious, spatial, isn't it? That one.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm a floor ahead here, aren't I?
Yeah.
I've lost my notes, gent. Sorry, carry on.
It's fine.
Sorry, mate, you've been out of the game for a long time, and
Yeah.
That's completely fine, isn't it? But yeah,
To be fair, I didn't even do any of that. I searched it up and I was like, "What these passwords?"
Yeah.
And it just
Well,
told me.
the second one is for Palkia, and it says about his special move. Obviously, Palkia's special move is Spatial Rend. So, and then it gets also, it like highlights it, and then the last one is the one that Mac. Go on, Mac. Try and pronounce it.
No, I'm all right.
It's about the stone that
I
Garatina
think it's something
holds.
about armadillo or something.
Yeah.
That's part of Arcanine, isn't it?
Yeah. But the last password, I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but I think it's Gracious Stone.
Yeah, Grisius.
that's
But yeah,
the
did
last
anybody
password.
put it in the first time? It just didn't work.
Yeah, for some
Yeah.
reason it didn't work, and then I was like, "What?" And then I tried it. I tried the other passwords, and I went back to it, and then it did work. So,
Yeah, that's mad.
must be something with the coding of the game.
Yeah, then you. Sorry, Spooks, you take it from there, mate. You look
No. I just went, You know me, throwing in them hms and ahs and burrs. Brian. Burr. So we're going out for bricks. Bim bait. Going to Bikel. Bikel and Benry. Sir, burr, yes, sir. We're going to the Spice Brio.
Price.
Price Brio. And so basically, after doing all these I was not about to say pikeys, isn't it? After doing all those passwords, we hear Regina go. We hear Michaelkins. We see it. We hear Michaelkins, and then basically we go into a couple of. We see her at the bottom of the stairs. she's basically bigging up her man down the stairs, saying that, yeah, we're getting all into this. We defeat her, and then we find out they've been using TMs on certain Pokemon. But they've obviously just found out that only certain TMs work on certain Pokemon. So, but they're on the hunt for that one Pokemon that can do it all, and basically making a master TM. And that's got something to do with Mew. And obviously, if you know that what Mew is and you know what it can do, it can use every single move. So, you know what I mean? It can pop and lock and, I don't know, do the windmill, can do everything. So, yeah, so we get up those stairs, we run into Mike Hawkins and Regina, and I'm pretty sure, is that Henry standing next to? I see, this is what I couldn't work out. I thought the family was up there when they're all standing there.
That's
and I
Blake,
thought,
isn't
is that Henry? Now, when they're all standing there ready to summon the legendary Pokemon.
I think it's just because Henry wears the grunt outfit, doesn't
Yeah,
he? So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just they are just the grunts.
Yeah, it would look nice if Henry had his own drip, but obviously, you know, he's too scared to even come in, so he is a drip. So Henry, yeah. So I said, Henry standing there, because at that point I was like, "Bruv, what you was our boy, you know? You was giving us all this crap. You set us up, innit?" I was like, "You set us up, bruv, on the field." So yeah, so obviously I put in here, we bump into them lot, and Henry set us up in the field, innit? So yeah, they're talking about us not wanting this Master TM. Do you not want to have this? Think about the power that it could hold if you had this Master TM. Obviously, Michael Kins then challenges us to a battle. We have a battle. We have the battle, and the time space trio of Sinnoh.
Yeah,
Then
I
turn
thought I
up.
was fighting Rushy at this point with that team.
Trust me, bro.
Rushykins! Rushykins!
Just you wait. There might be something special at the end of the episode.
Oh, no.
Oh, here we go. But yeah, so he basically has the space trio on them. We beat him, which was surprisingly for the space trio pretty easy. And I say pretty easy is because obviously out of all the Pokemon games that we've all played, we've all just tried to get him into the red. Then we just start throwing those Pokeballs and stuff. So that's probably why the battle seemed a lot shorter than what it was for all of us, to be fair.
Yeah, they all got one shot.
Yeah. So it's like that. So then he's saying that he still has it. They still have enough strength to summon Mew. So basically, hopefully you'll see a cutscene here where they all get summoned and they're summoning Mew. The Mew then appears. But I'm telling you now, and if you excuse me, young listeners, Mew is pissed. Mew is pissed, and Michael even confirms this. Like, you know, what's the rage all about? Michael Kins is confirming he's not happy with the rage, and then Mew attacks Michael, hides and hurts him. Then Michael runs behind his gal, and saying that he's confused why Mew ain't listening to him. I had just a picture of Michael standing behind his girl, going, "He hurt me." Like holding on to his arm, isn't it? Like, yeah, like going all like this, and so yeah. Then Mew enters that state of rage, and now we had to subdue Mew, but not in that way. Before it destroys the lab, and obviously we subdue Mew, and then it says, then obviously it says to us like all we do is want its power, and then it attacks us. And then, this is what I said to the boys in the group chat, because obviously I've got 100% catch rate on, right? So I just threw a Pokeball at it. Didn't even bother about attacking it. So I could hear my game went black, it crashed, and I could just hear the jingle in the background, like the like the catch music, and I was thinking, what the hell is going on here? And yeah, I didn't find out until obviously starting the game that I forgot to save, and it put me right at the start at like going up Mount Stratus, so I had to go all the way up there and do everything again. And so yeah, that was me. So we done it the right way. Then I obviously spoke to Rushykins, and he said, "Nah, you gotta like wipe it out." So just cheating does catch up with you guys. I think we said it in the last few seasons, and that it does catch up to you. I mean, that it's 3 out of 4 having bad eggs now. So that pretty much sums it up. So yeah, but basically, Michael says he thinks he was a fool. He calls himself a fool to think that he can control legendary Pokemon's powers, and then he will pursue his dream in another way. So Ace, what can we say about after all of that? After leaving the lab, whereabouts do we have to go then? After defeating these legendary Pokemon, all 4 of them, to be fair.
Yeah, so I was following a little walkthrough online because I've been trying to record some of the footage as I'm going. But so when I was going through the walkthrough, it says on there that you can't catch Mew yet. So obviously, I think that's obviously why, because I started throwing balls at it at first, and the balls would throw, but it would keep coming out, and then I thought,
Yeah.
oh, I'll just use my master ball, but my master ball wasn't available in my bag. So I think obviously
Yep.
what had happened to you is that you like your cheat had like broken the game basically because it weren't meant to happen. And I did wonder because it had a little red trim round it, didn't it, to show that it was enraged, the Mew
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully, well, of course, we will get a chance to catch Mew later. But yeah, so after all of that has gone down, we are stood there with Blake, and we actually, oh, Blake, yeah, Blake comes in, and then we actually shoot over to the other dimension and see Luke. And this time we're not in his like town or something like that. We're just in this. It's just like a passage of space. And he basically tells us that he knows that we don't have much time, but he's enjoyed working with us two, us and Blake, and he wishes he could have learnt more about us. So that's quite sad, you know. Maybe we might meet Luke in the post game, but for right now, that is Luke's part played in the story. And then Blake tells us that we need to take on the last gym to get Dive, or so we need to get Dive to get to the last gym. So he gives it to us, and then he says that he's looking forward to fighting us in the league. We then leave, and we see Henry still chilling at that entrance, and he tells us that his dad wants to travel. He's given up. His dad just wants to travel now. Obviously, being the boss of the fusion company, he's got the funds, and Henry says that he will as well. And if he ever comes and sees us again, he'd love to battle. And he also said that we were a true inspiration. So then we go back down to Mount Stratus. So when it was playing before, when we spoke about it before, I would have had the footage showing you how to actually get to this point because it was a little bit confusing. So I slowed it right down and showed the exact route you need to take because, of course, you go into the bit near Geminite village at one point and other things. So the correct route would have been on the screen. And as we're going back down the mountain, we see a scientist who was actually just away from the entrance, and he gives us a Genesect. So I don't know if you boys picked that up, but you get the Bug Steel type Genesect if you've got room in your party. I think it is a mythical.
It is, and it is on the team.
I thought it might
There
be.
we go.
Yeah.
I'm joking. It's not.
Oh
But
no!
I was
To be
tempted.
fair, Genesect
He's
is
really
a sick
cool.
mon.
Yeah, he's really cool.
There might be a certain spin wheel for a certain someone on that next
Yeah,
episode.
and
Who knows, isn't
that's
it?
exactly what I thought. As soon as I got that, that's exactly what I thought.
Me.
And yeah, so we end up going back down the mountain. You can actually fast track back when Henry leaves, but because I was looking at the walkthrough, I saw you could get Genesect there, so I decided to go the long way. And we go back down to the resort, and we are now tasked with finding our way to Darkwood Town to take on the 8th gym. So, Rushy, do you want to take us through how we actually get to Darkwood Town?
Yes. So to get to Darkwood Town, we've obviously Nicole had told us earlier that we have to dive in the shadowy spots in the sea. So that's what we do. So you go to the sea and you surf, and then you find the dark spots and use dive. It takes you down to the Tunod sea floor. You travel around there a little bit. There's not too much going on there. Obviously, this is where you catch some of the sort of underwater exclusive Pokemon like Clampel, things like that. Then you resurface in the Darkwood Grotto, which is a sort of cave-like area where there's a few items. I got a full restore here and a black belt here as well. But you sort of dive a few times around in the cave, and then you end up making your way through the Darkwood Grotto into Darkwood Town. And once you reach Darkwood Town, this is where the 8th gym is. So at the gym, Percy is waiting for you outside. Now, I'd actually forgotten about Percy because We've got quite a few rivals in this game, but they show up quite sporadically. You don't really see them too often. But Percy is there, and he asks you to battle. He's got, by the way, he's got like a 3-man team, and he's made his way through all 8 gyms. Right,
Yeah.
his Qualaba's not evolved.
Yeah.
That's what I was now about to say. Crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
but he tells us he's just beaten the gym 8. So anyway, he gives you a little battle. He's quite easy to beat, and he gives you HM07 Waterfall for beating him. And he says, right, you've got this now. So go and beat Gym 8 so you can use Waterfall and make your way to the Tunog League, and he'll meet you there. Couple of things to note in Darkwood Town. There's a choice band which you can get from one of the NPCs outside of the Pokemon Center. TM40 Aerial Ace is also on the ground here, and there is a little sort of fountain area, which I think they're Gyarados fountains,
Yeah.
and I didn't know what to do here, but it's asking you to put a code in, so I did look this up, and if you type justice ! Into the wish fountain and make a wish, it gives you an encounter with, it's Shaman, isn't it? No, it's Keldeo. Sorry,
Keldeo. The other one's
yeah.
Shaman. Yeah.
Yeah, Keldeo.
Yeah,
so
nice.
you get Keldeo here, which is pretty cool. I
On
haven't
the
caught
team?
Keldeo.
Oh,
No, I haven't caught it. Do you know what? There's also, I'll just go into this quickly as well. After we now have full access to Mount Stratus. And when I was looking up the Keldeo thing, it mentioned that the Reggies are in Mount Stratus. So I went back and did that too. And I was going to try and catch them all, just so I could send a funny picture in with a full legendary mythical team and be like, look at my new team. But I chucked, and I no word of a lie, I chucked about 40 Ultra Balls at Reggie Rock, and it just wasn't catching. I was like, I'm not using a Master Ball here because I know there's more legendaries later in the game, which I'd rather use that on. So I ended up just beating them all. But yeah, you can encounter Reggie Rock, Reggie Steel, Reggie Ice, and then Reggie Gigas inside of Mount Stratus. But yeah,
Did you just say, bruv?
No. I like now. I'm thinking of that Don Darius, isn't it, when he calls the mothership.
It's just all the Reggies. You can catch all the Reggies.
Oh yeah.
Well, thanks for that. Yeah, all the Reggies are there anyway. Anyway, I got sidetracked. Yeah, Keldeo, you can get Keldeo here. All the Reggies. Darkwood Town. Anybody else got anything to add before we get into Gym 8?
Nah, I don't, mate. No.
Mac?
Nothing from me.
Cool.
All right then. So
Take us in.
let me go into Gym 8 in Darkwood Town in my real life hometown. So. Leader Tyson is here. He goes out with the Scrafty, one of Ace's favourite Pokemon. Go for the Zen Headbutt, but it doesn't do anything. So we set up with a Reflect. It goes for a Crunch against us. We are now going to switch out into Alduin. And now you're going to see Alduin's quite high level because I didn't have a flyer on my team. So basically I had to Alduin don't evolve to 55, which is quite mad to be fair. So Alduin used Flied on the Scrafty. It's done some crunch. Leftovers again on the team. Scrafty's got rest as well. The Reflector's worn off. We're flying. But Scrafty has shed skin as well. So that rest is really doing... That's quite a wicked setup. Rest, shed skin, crunch, leftovers. Yeah, this is a bad boy Pokemon. I can see why it's your favourite. The crunch takes us down to 6 HP. I think that was a crit. We use the Dragon Pulse against it. We take the Scrafty out. Their Glazed comes out now. And who we're going to stay with? I think we're just going to stay with Alduin as we're on 6. There's no point switching back out. So Alduin goes down. Who we're going to go into now? Bruce Lade. And it's Bruce versus Bruce. Whoa. Yes, and we hit it with a Zen Headbutt. I thought we was going to go for another Reflect there, but didn't. Now, here comes one of my favourite Pokemon for them, for Tyson, is Breloom. Don't ask me why, I just love it. But we're going to come out with the Nine-Tailed Fox, Kurama. Kurama uses Flamethrower, instantly takes out the Breloom, which is just funny because it is one of my favourite Pokemon. I just got done dirty like that real quick. And Lucario comes out. Mac, sorry, he's down 1 hit. The Conkeldurr comes out, and what we're going to do now, we go for the extrasensory. I forgot that we've got this on Kurama, so we go for that. It flinches, it's got leftovers, extrasensory again, brick break on us, gets us on 60, leftovers for Conkelda. Then Tyson uses a hyper potion, so we're back up to the extrasensory. Oh, such a tongue twister after saying it for so many times. Extrasensory. We hit it with a will-o-wisp, burns it, takes us down, so it's still burnt. Who are we going to come out with now? Oh yeah, guess what? We're going to come out with Bruce Lade again. So these two Pokemon are really doing it for us. Z Headbutt again, which should take out the Conkelda, and it does. And that is Tyson done. Ace, how you getting on? Tell me about your gym.
Yeah, so quite fond of this one actually, because you could just walk straight through up to the leader, which was pretty handy. So
Yeah, sick.
we'll get into my footage now. So we've got the quick team run through. So here's Morwile, who you will see does bits in this gym. We've got Scolipede there. Everyone's level 50 now, by the way. Empoleon's there as well, still in the team. Don Sceptile with a cool setup there. And there's the Ments, who I had the same thing as Spooks. I needed a flyer, so I leveled them up all the way. But let's get into the battle with Don Tyson. Quite fitting, very good boxers named with that same name. So Scrafty comes in first, and I hate to do it to him, but we're going to hit that Intimidate as soon as we come in with Morwile. Do that Swords Dance, and a Play Rough is just going to one-shot that obviously quad effective Fairy type move against the Fighting Dark type. Out comes the Breloom, does a lot of damage with his Brick Break, but we hit a crit. Would it have mattered? Probably not, because we're at +2 attack. Out comes Glazed, and it hits me with a Brick Break, but the Play Rough misses, so Morwile is going to go down. We've actually got Glazed in the family, clearly, me and the cuz, because there's been a lot of Bruce Lades flying about in this series, but yeah, Ments comes in, flies up, flies down, chins it, and it's down. Here comes Conkelda holding them big poles. Concrete, just got a firm grip on them, innit? So he goes down anyway, and out comes Lucario. And I thought, just for the laughs and the jokes, I'll hit a flamethrower with Salamence. It burns Lucario. We get it right down into the red, but Tyson uses a Hyper Potion once again down to the red. And if you guys remember this from the earlier episode, or earlier on this episode with Mac, Hyper Potion again. Another flamethrower, leftover recovery, the burn damage does a bit. Lucario goes for extreme speed, but one more flamethrower is going to put Lucario in the dirt. So yeah, that's my gym battle done. Rushy, speaking of dirt, do you want to brush yourself down and come show us what Mr. Clean battle's like?
Well, it's not. This one ain't very clean. And this is one of them moments when I have to say it's time to lock in, because we've got a bit of a long one here, I'm not going to lie. So Pause. Yeah, don't pause though. We're going to go now. So I lead with Torterra, they lead with Scrafty. I go for that Leech Seed on turn 1. The Scrafty hits a crunch, so Torterra's defense does go down, but I get a bit of health back from the Leech Seed. I go for an Earthquake on the Scrafty here, which takes him down to fairly low. They hit another crunch, and the leftovers give them a bit of health back, but I'll take that right back again because they've got Leech Seed on them. So another Earthquake from Torterra here does take the Scrafty down. So yeah, not too bad there for the first Pokemon. So Tyson is now sending in Glazed. I am going to switch into my Haxorus here. So Haxorus comes in. First time he's coming into play. He has evolved now. The Hypercutter does prevent the Intimidate from Haxorus, but I go for that Dragon Dance turn 1 on the Haxorus here to get the speed and attack up. The Glazed goes for a Swords Dance itself. And I then go for a Dragon Claw, which, boom, one-shots the Glazed. Glazed is down and out. Haxorus is an absolute beast. So yeah, Conkeldurr is up next. So Conkeldurr is in. I'll go for another. No, I don't. I go for a scary face here on the Haxorus, but the Conkeldurr goes for an Ice Punch, which does a lot of damage to my Haxorus. So I go for Dragon Claw here on the Conkeldurr, which takes it down, right down, but they hit a Brick Break and do take the Haxorus out. So I'm coming back in with Torterra. The Conkeldurr does have leftovers, as quite a lot of these seem to have. I go for the Leech Seed on the Torterra, but the Conkeldurr hits an Ice Punch and takes Torterra out in one hit. So not ideal, but it is one of them things that happens. So I bring in my Swampert. Swampert is coming up against the Conkeldurr now. So the Leech Seed is still taking away a bit of the health. I go for the dive on the Swampert because I've gotten rid of the Muddy Water, but the Hyper Potion comes off and does go off on the Conkeldurr. So Conkeldurr is then withdrawn and Breloom is sent in. The dive hits the Breloom for about half health, hits a crit. But I'm thinking here, is Swampert going to be the ideal Pokemon here? Probably not. So I send in the Emboar. So Emboar is in. It does hit a Bullet Seed, but doesn't do too much. I hit the Sunny Day. The Breloom hits a Brick Break on the Emboar, which is not ideal. So I go for the Fire Punch, but the Mach Punch from the Breloom comes off first, takes my Emboar down to 3 HP, but the Emboar does take out Breloom there in one hit. So Lucario is in next. I am going to switch out into my Raticate, I think. Yeah, Raticate. But what I'm trying to do here is just trying to get some health back on my Emboar. Raticate obviously is not great, but he's going to come all the way through with me. So I go for a Revive here on the Torterra. Or I go to use the Revive, sorry there, but I was meant to use the Full Restore. So the Full Restore comes off on the Emboar to get him back up to full HP. The Brick Break does come off onto the Raticate and does take him out. But it's time to bring Emboar back in. So Emboar comes back in. And I do go for that Sunny Day again, but the Brick Break comes off on the Emboar first. The Sunny Day just fails, obviously, because the sunlight is already up. I go for a Fire Punch. The Sword Stance comes off from the Lucario, but the Fire Punch does hit, takes the Lucario all the way down and out in one hit. So that's nice to see. Obviously, the Sunny Day providing that extra damage. So Conkeldurr's back in now. This is where things start to go a little bit left because I don't want to have to do this again. But this Conkeldurr could be a bit troublesome because it's doing a lot of damage. So the Brick Break comes in, I'll put the Sun up again. But Emboar is quite low here, so I do try to get off a move, but it doesn't work. The Conkeldurr takes out the Emboar, so I switch into Swampert. So Swampert is in, and the leftovers are taking the Conkeldurr all the way back up to full health. So I go for a dive. The Conkeldurr uses knockoff, but obviously it misses. Sunlight is still up and the dive comes off, doesn't do much damage at all, and the Brick Break comes off on the Swampert, which doesn't do too much, but I'm just worrying that, you know, I'm not going to have enough to take this Conkeldurr out before it takes me out because it's doing a lot of damage. So I hit the Yawn on the Conkeldurr and it goes for a Brick Break itself and does quite a lot of damage. So I go for a Surf, which does hit, it takes the Conkeldurr right down, but the knockoff comes off on the Conkeldurr. It does take out Swampert. So Magnezone's in, last Pokemon in, and I know that obviously, even though this Conkeldurr is asleep, it could cause some problems. So I'm going for the Tri-Attack, which does quite nicely. I go for a Tri-Attack again, but the Hyper Potion comes off, and I do not want this Conkeldurr to wake up while Magnezone is in, because obviously that will absolutely ruin my day, being a fighting type Pokemon here. So I go into the bag, I go to find some Revival Herbs. Revival Herb on the Torterra to begin with, and the Conkeldurr is still asleep, so I take my opportunity here to use another Revival Herb. I get another Revival Herb off onto Haxorus, so both of those back up to full HP and alive again. Conkeldurr is still ticking away in the background asleep. I go for a Tri-Attack, which keeps the Conkeldurr down a bit lower, but it's still asleep. Go for another Tri-Attack, which takes it all the way down because it's hit a crit. It does wake up and uses a Brick Break, and it takes the Magnezone down to 1 HP. Obviously, the Magnezone does endure it, but the Conkeldurr gets its attack off first, which is what I was worried about. But luckily, I've got some backups in here, so Torterra comes back in, and I go for the Earthquake on Torterra, which does take Conkeldurr out, and that is Tyson down. Mac, how did you get on with the final gym battle.
I think
I
Ace
did
has
tell
gone
you
to
to lock
sleep.
it.
Where's Ace? Where's Ace gone? Where's Ace gone?
Cool. I thought I had a bad time in the last gym. That sounds like you did not have a good time at all, mate. I feel for
Sorry,
you there.
boys, must have nodded off.
So yeah, I didn't get on quite as bad as you, mate. You'll be glad to know. So coming into this gym, I did pick up is it Cypher, the grass flying type, which basically just carried me through this gym. So they lead with Scrafty, I lead with what I nickname Edward, Don Scissorhands over here. I hit the Scrafty with a Sacred Sword, he hits a bulk up, and I hit him with another Sacred Sword, and the Scrafty is down. They bring in Glazed, so I hit it with an Aerial Ace, which one-shots the Glazed. Then comes in the Conch Elder, which seems to be, the thorn in your side rushy, which I hit with an Aerial Ace. They hit me with an Ice Punch, which gets me super weak, but I hit them with one more Aerial Ace, which finishes them off. Then the Breloom comes in, I hit it with an Aerial Ace, one-shots it. Then they bring in Lucario. I switch out and go for Arcanine, and then hit that with a Fire Fang, which near enough one-shots it, leaves it on about 1 HP. Hit it with an Aerial Ace, not before they can get off a Hyper Potion, which gets it pretty weak. One more Brick Break from them, which does a good chunk of damage, but one more Fire Fang from me, and that is Gym 8 completed.
Damn, boy.
Damn.
A lot quicker than the one before you, mate.
I think I'd have been struggling to go for longer. I could have taken speed up off and probably still finished it quicker than Rushy did.
Yeah, you're probably right. You know what? I was just being cautious. I probably could have finished it quicker, but I was being cautious. It's always worth being cautious. It's not going to work, is it? It's not going to work. It took me too long, I know. But it's one of them things. It's done now.
Yeah.
That's all right, boy. That's all right. Well, boys, did we all finish off in that dark wood town?
Yes.
Yeah.
I finished all over that dark wood, baby.
Yeah, I bet you
All
bloody
over
did.
that dark wood.
I'll just.
I bet you
I'll
bloody
just-
did, boy.
I'll just say that Tyson, obviously, you get the clobbering badge for beating him, which means we can now use Waterfall, and we also get TM31 Brick Break from beating him as well.
It's clobbering time.
It's clobbering time.
It's
Man got that.
clobbering time.
Spook's got that TM31 back break in it.
Back break. God, that's what I felt like, man. I know, Russia, you was spitting bars over there, so you couldn't see it, but I was posted up. Literally, I was posted up against the wall, nearly crying, man. Something made me laugh, and I went, do you know what I mean? Jolted, went like that, I went, and it just broke down, didn't it? I'm feeling fragile.
Well, maybe we should end this episode off then.
Yeah.
Go on, Ace. You start with our closing remarks.
Yeah, so thanks everybody for watching episode 4 of Pokemon Glazed. Funnily enough, just to break the fourth wall, episode 2 went out yesterday, so we're actually quite a fair bit of time ahead. Episode 3 is also already edited because we're trying to stay ahead of things. We're going to be doing, I don't know if I don't think we did mention it, but the Hive pod is going to 2-week uploading schedule now. Obviously we did week in, week out before, but we realised, maybe sometimes that might not be possible, hence why we're ahead. Like Glalie, just that head. We are ahead. But also, you will have seen by now another video of Ace's solo series, which I've been taking on in my spare time. That's going to be filling in the weeks where usually it would be a Glazed, it will then be Glazed, my series, and then Glazed, and then carry on. Glazed is probably also going to be quite a long series because I think we're all sort of, well, we haven't really spoken about it, have we? But I think we're all leaning towards getting into that post game, if possible. But that's still to be decided. Obviously, next episode we've got the Elite 4 and Champion, which, as you guys will know from previous final episodes, well, I just said it's not going to be the final, but previous Elite 4 and Champion episodes, it will just be a lot of gameplay and a lot of commentary. So we will briefly speak about what we're going to do at the end of that episode. Obviously, let us know in the comments if you would like us to, if you are following along and playing along with us and you do want us to do the post game. But if not, we'll decide amongst ourselves. But yeah, anyway, every single time, that's me rambling on at the end of the episode. Thank you for watching. You know, thanks for showing support. I think Spook said the other day that combined views, we're on over 100k combined views across all socials now, which is awesome. Let's start changing some of those into likes, comments, subscriptions, and follows. Obviously, as we said, we always say this is just a hobby, but just seeing those numbers go up does push us forward. It does motivate us, you know, gets us going. So anyway, yeah, thanks so much for watching from me. Rushy, do you want to take over, bro?
Yeah, so yeah, just following on from what you said, thank you all for watching. As always, we're enjoying this series, as I said at the start of the episode, and I think it would be nice if we could follow this into the post game as well, because I was reading up on it a little bit, and it looks like it could be quite fun. Again, drop a follow on all of our socials, drop a like. It means the world to us, more than you would probably ever know. And yeah, just keep following along with us. We're having a great time doing these podcasts. Obviously, the 2 weekly schedule will give us a bit more freedom, so we can, you know, hopefully it will make things better for us as well. And yeah, thanks for watching, Mac. I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, so pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me back, and sorry to everyone. I'm sure the episodes were just not the same without me there. Absolutely, 100% sure of that. But glad to be back, and it's been a pleasure, gents. And as I've always said when I've been here, keep watching, keep liking, keep subscribing. Whether you're in the bath, in the front room, watching on the telly, listening on Spotify, listening in the van. Keep running it up, and over to Spooks to take it out the only way correct.
I'll take it out correct. I'll take it out the nasty way. I'll do it. I'll do it dirty. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Don't you worry about me. I'm gonna do so. I'm leaving here with something. I'm leaving here with something. I'm from round the way, and from round the way, all we've got to say is watch us on YouTube, listen on Spotify. If you don't have access to any of those, go ask your madre, ask your sister, ask your padre, ask your broski. And if you don't have any of them, all you got to do is just shout us, man, and we're going to patent that for you real quick. And by saying that, run safe, everybody!